Hello world.
Hello world.
We are the Nerd Herders here.
Right.
Sasha, the video gaming nerd herder.
And Hunter, the comic booking nerd herder.
And, we've recently started up a Patreon. We have a full week of,
Daily newspaper-ish type comics.
Yeah, our comic strips.
Yeah.
And those are free to read, and we're starting to release them on our YouTube channel. So if you want to read what we have a week before we put them on YouTube, check out the Patreon, and,
Right. Yeah. And then you can check out the music behind them are wonderful. They fit it very perfectly. It's like, we're doing good.
Every time I read the papers in the morning when I go to the grocery store and pick up the Sunday funnies, I will listen to, my jazz.
I do like the jazz.
Right. It's just what I imagine, reading a newspaper listening to in the background.
Right, exactly. Coffee and donuts and the like.
Yeah,
like Lady and the Tramp. Like at the beginning of Lady and the Tramp,
Right.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's get on to our weekly topic, and since Sasha here beat me in Mario Kart earlier, how about you take it first?
Alright, so my topic this time is so I just recently took a trip to the beach for a couple of days, and the topic I want to talk about is gaming outdoors. Some people think it's kind of stupid, why would you go out, why would you game outdoors and that sort of thing, but I don't know. Every time I go to the beach, I like to bring my original Game Boy and original Tetris, because you can sit in the sun with not having to worry about a backlight or anything, and I just like to sit on the beach in the waves and play Tetris. It's the same way when I go on hikes into the forest. When I see a nice, chill spot with, pretty trees or, a swamp or something like that, it'd be cool to just, cop down on the bench, pull out the Game Boy, and just, play for, 10 minutes. I like that feeling. I like that. I don't know, maybe it's because I was a Nintendo kid. I like the whole, outdoor gaming type thing. And so, one of my topics is, or my topic pretty much is, do we miss the handheld, focused gaming era? Things like Game Boys, Game Gears, Neo Geo Pockets if you're not from the U.S., and those sorts of things. And how do we feel now that we're one generation post having a handheld exclusive system? Because the last handheld exclusive system now has been the 3DS. And there's no handheld exclusive systems now anymore. The Switch is a hybrid, and I think that's going to be the form factor that they stick with for a long time. But I miss the Game Boy era, having different types of Game Boys, being able to personalize your colors and those sorts of things. And I don't know, man. I miss the original handheld focus market. And there was a rumor going around, I've seen some clips on the internet about Sony potentially having another handheld. I loved the PSP. I had a Vita on day one. I loved the Vita also. I was very sad with how it went kind of, into the background and nothing ever happened. But it was an awesome system. I loved it. So I'm excited to see if maybe they do another handheld. They would be the only company with an exclusive handheld out in the market at that point. So, I don't know. I miss handhelds. Game Boy is my all-time favorite. So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the handheld generation is dead, but I do see where you're coming from with you saying how the Game Boy and Nintendo had their full-on exclusive parts. But I am in the viewpoint to where I actually appreciate losing the exclusive games in that market.
Okay.
So I think it might be a step in the right direction for them to incorporate more games like Nintendo has been.
Right.
Like with the Nintendo Switch 2, which I'm probably not going to get, but where you could play Phantom Liberty.
Right.
And when I played Hogwarts Legacy, I know, but I liked Hogwarts as a kid, so it was hard for me not to play a video game based.
Right. I totally get that. Hogwarts Legacy was I still haven't played it, but it was one of those things that I desperately wanted to get into.
I wanted to see what they would have done with all the magical elements of Hogwarts in a video game. And
for me, Quidditch, baby. Quidditch.
They didn't have it, but I remember playing it on PS1.
Yeah, or the PS2 ones were pretty good too. Yeah. But again, retro gaming era. So,
but with emulators and stuff, even that is sort of a hot topic area.
Right.
I still think the handheld market is still there.
Right.
As though playing outdoors, I don't know. There's a time and place.
Right.
When I go on a hike, I don't want to have my phone on me. I don't even play music. I just go out and enjoy nature.
I feel like I guess I get that, and I have a lot of friends that are the same way. A lot of friends that like to go camping and like to go hiking and that sort of stuff. But it's
I ain't
like
going camping, but I'll get ahead of nature reserve that have people there on the property,
right.
like every so often.
Well, it's like, well, and for me, it's just I don't know, man. There's something about merging things that I love together. I love handheld gaming. I love Tetris. I love the outdoors. I love the fresh air and this and that. So sitting down and combining all of those things together, I feel like is just a nice experience. You know what I'm saying? To have, because it just brings together things that I like. Some people are just like, "Oh, it's so stupid. You go out in nature, enjoy nature. Why would you bring your, systems or whatever?" But
I still have my Game Boy SP.
All right, I love that. I
have my original Nintendo DS that has the broken hinge that I'm thinking about getting fixed soon.
Nice, that's a good one.
I
They're
still
actually
have the
easy to fix
2DS.
these days.
Hmm?
They're easy to fix these days. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about sending it to a place that repairs like retro games and stuff.
Right. That'll be awesome. I love it. I love my DS. The original DS is underrated, I think. The screens were teensy, but
and if you had a bully, you could throw them at him and
yeah.
it would leave. It was a brick.
It was a brick, but it was awesome. All right. So what's your topic?
All right. So continuing on with the theme of last, with more and stuff, are alternative art cards and comic book covers good?
So do you mean so there are Star Wars individual cards that come in packs that have art cards and stuff like that as an extension to the comic books? Is that what you're asking about?
No,
those sorts of things.
How there will be for example, X-Men #1, the Jim Lee one from the 90s.
Okay.
And they had all the way up to E or F, so 5 or 6 different covers.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Or what is it? Scotty Cho.
Okay.
His different alternatives, or how you can always expect there to be 3 or 4 different covers per release.
Right. So I think that's cool, and it's like I said earlier, I think that it's a way to see another artist's perspective on a different piece, which I think is cool, and it's that's something that you wouldn't get normally with a variant cover or with a normal cover. The normal cover would look like the normal stuff, but if you get a cool variant cover from an artist that doesn't typically do something like that, I feel like that's a very appealing. As the collector in me is yeah, I would get all those variants because I love this specific comic, so I would get all of those variant covers.
But there is a behind that, in the 90s there was the whole comic book market crash because of all the different variants, all the chrome, all the holographic stuff. Right. How far deep they went into.
Right.
What we got now is more balanced and not really costing the company more to produce and not getting the sell back.
Right.
And also the LGSs buying them too.
Right.
Well, not LGSs, LCSs.
LCSs.
And then comic shops.
Right. And then, I'm again, the appeal of the collector in me is just that provides, more money, more to the local comic shops, more artists are able to contribute and able to take part in a thing, and I think that's
one
an
of the
appealing
pros.
part of the process. Yeah.
But also cover artists also don't have to be the artists on the inside of the work either.
Right. Which again, that's another thing I mean. You get different artists that do different things. Typically, come in and do a variant cover. You get something that you wouldn't see your artist normally do, one of your favorite artists normally do, and I think
you'll
that's
get
a
different format type.
Right, I like that a lot.
Or a black and white cover. I'm not hating on the not that, but bringing in the factual stuff like I just did with the comic book market crash.
Right.
But they also did the chroma covers where it was still tin, platinum, gold.
Right.
And then they
Diamond.
have the what's the effect called where it's a shifting color?
Lenticular, lenticular hologram, where it's got movement, it simulates movement.
Whereas they had the 3D one, but then they also had sort of the metallic one where if you moved the light, it would shimmer that different color type deal.
Right, I like that.
But those were also like very expensive covers to make, and
right. And nowadays it's not so much like that, but
yeah, it's more so how you're saying, where it's given more artists and stuff, which again I had down as a pro.
Right, a chance to contribute to it.
But if you saying as a collector you want for it, that's where it's good and bad.
Right.
Because there will be like some issues just because of the variant artist. It will be way more expensive than the actual variant covers.
And I guess that makes sense too, but if you are an artist collector and, I guess money is not an issue, then it wouldn't really matter too much. If that is like your artist you would want to get. Like if Scotty Young did a cover that I wanted, I would definitely get it, even if it's some comic that I don't typically read. So that would, and then I would be introduced into that comic, and if I read it and I like it, then I'm brought into this comic. So it's almost like it's advertising to me to have a variant cover of a different artist.
Yeah. But then I also think of all the pen up alternative covers. I'm like, okay, we don't need that.
Right, that's true. That's true.
That's just fan service. Come on, guys.
Was it like thick butt cheek Batman?
Not even that one. Like where they literally have like Red Sonja and like a Christmas like naughty Claus outfit.
Right. I get it.
Which, again, Red Sonja is a bad example because of the barbarian outfit, but that's also a barbarian outfit.
Exactly. It makes sense. It fits.
Like, Conan is also super sexualized because just loincloth.
Loincloth,
and maybe like an armor strap sometimes.
Right. And, bulging, rippling everything's. So,
and a long, luscious mane.
Right, exactly.
But outside of our topic we wanted to bring up, let's do our weekly nerd out. And since you went first, I guess it's my turn to go first.
I guess.
So, on top of some other stuff, I recently bought a graphic novel. I want to say it's a Marvel masterpiece.
Okay.
It's like a cheap recollection graphic novel of like older, like Golden Age, early Silver Age comics.
Okay.
And I got the first volume from the first series of Silver Surfer.
Oh, that's cool. I would love to check some of that out.
I want to say there's still a second volume, maybe a third.
There's some Galactus action in there?
I've gotten halfway through because of all the other stuff
we're
working on.
Right.
But I want to like get back into it, get some free time up, and go read through it, and then crack into like my Marvel Epic series, the 2-issue series that they did.
That's cool.
And
I'll check that out.
Maybe crack into the first 50 issues of the series that I have, since I got the whole run of the second series.
I'll definitely.
I don't think I want to read 200 issues on a downtime day.
Right.
That sounds more like a video.
Very cool. Very cool.
And how about you?
So I recently reshelled one of my Game Boy Colors. My daughter wanted to make hers like a cherry blossom, so we did different shells. And I put a blue shell on the outside of mine, and then in the process, dug up my Pokemon Crystal because it kind of fits the aesthetic of the Game Boy, and put it all together. So I've been rocking Pokemon Crystal for the last couple of days. I just got my Togepi just hatched. I just put my Ditto with the nursery. The basic stuff. I'm 2 gyms down. And it's like, I forget how much talking there is. There's just a lot of tapping because I know everything that they're going to say. It's just like,
But if I remember correctly, didn't they introduce the run button in that game?
So yes, and there's, you get EXP share, but I haven't gotten that far yet. Like, I'm pretty close, but once I get EXP share, then everything works out a lot better. It's like I always pick Chikorita because Chikorita's awesome. And I got my Bayleaf, and I've just been rocking it, killing it, and I'm, like I said, 2 gyms down, and
fair enough.
I'm going to play some tonight once we get done. It's going to be awesome.
Alright, so what is your top 3?
My top 3. Oh man, how are you going to do this to me right now? Okay,
because I went first last time.
Let's do a really kind of off, random, crazy one. All right, top 3 vacation destination wishes.
Wishes?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
So, like, if you could go to, what are the top 3 places you want to go to? Like, what are the top 3 things, like, it could be anywhere in the world that you want to see?
Okay. Probably visit Tokyo.
Tokyo's, that's pretty good. That's a good one.
Then I would probably hit up. I'm trying to remember the exact area, but California, the birthplace of underground comics.
Very cool. That's a good spot.
And then New York.
Nice. For the same sort of thing.
Yeah, Lafayette Street, the birthplace of DC Comics.
That would be so cool. Road trip destination for sure.
Right?
Yeah. So for me, I'm thinking, for my top 3 places that I want to see in the world is like, I used to be really, really keen on Egypt. But my dad said that one time he went and it was like literally like 4 hours on the bus to get to the pyramids, which would be the main reason I want to go. That's what I would want to see there. So taking Egypt out of the equation, I really would like to go to someplace like Sweden, or someplace like where you can ride those crazy mountain carts. You know what I'm saying? Where you can just get in and it just go, like, and you're just like cruising through the mountainside on like a mine cart. Like, dude, I want to do that so freaking bad.
Not Sesame, but the Muppets so hard.
He's so awesome.
All right.
It's like I love the real hands. It was like one of my all-time favorite things.
Alright. Well, was Egypt an honorable mention?
So no, well yeah, I guess Egypt's probably an honorable mention. And then like so Sweden, one of those types of places. I'd really like to go to like Peru and see like Machu Picchu and those sorts of things. And I'd like to see, I think that would be cool. That'd be like my number 2 spot. And number 1 is, of course, with you, Tokyo. Akihabara, the birthplace of nerd culture altogether. I definitely got to go. I definitely got to go to a thrift store and buy some cheap Game Boy games. And I definitely got to get some Hatsune Miku dolls and some Pokemon and some,
dude,
you know what I'm saying?
I want to try out the bar scenes, all the food.
Noodle shops, and tea places, and tea houses, definitely.
And like just head up the actual like manga tankobon shops.
Right.
And just go enjoy the stuff that I would like to enjoy. That's not just fully nerd stuff.
Right.
I would love to just go on a Japanese bar crawl.
That would be really cool.
And just enjoy the different bar scene from America, from like Europe.
Right. And just see kind of like what they're into and how it goes. That's cool. Get in on the culture.
And just get their street vendor food and then hit up the fancy places.
For me, I like one of the other, like taking Tokyo out of the equation. Japan as a destination is probably number 1. I would say like Tokyo and Akihabara and like that sort of thing are one of the places I would really like to go. But Japan as a whole is I would love to see everything. I like to see like the Fox Shrine that inspired Shigeru Miyamoto to make Star Fox, and I want to, you know what I'm saying? I'd like to go see, even though you can't go in, or maybe you can go in, I don't really know. I'd like to see Nintendo's headquarters. I'd like to, go to a lot of different places.
I want to have a real Japanese cherry blossoms from a sakura tree fall, and once my real life, so I can be just like an anime.
Right, and just look up and have them falling as they're going past you. Yes. Oh yeah. And we have to film it in slow motion so that you get the full effect, right?
And then I'll either get my heart broken by my high school crush,
right,
or there's about to be a dope fight scene afterwards.
Yeah, or there's aliens.
Yes.
Or demons. Yeah.
Or ninjas.
or whatever else.
Alright. So, let me think of my top 3.
Okay.
What would you say is your top 3 sci-fis?
Sci-fi. Alright, are we talking about movies? Or are we talking about just franchises? Or... Franchises. Okay. So, sci-fi franchises. Okay. So I'm more into kind of futuristic sci-fi stuff. So I would probably put Battlestar Galactica probably in the number 3-ish spot probably. And then I think Star Trek would take number 2. And don't ask me to narrow it down. I just say Star Trek as a whole because I tend to like all of it, right? I tend to like all of it. Voyager's the best, but I tend to like all of it. And then I like number 1 will be Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. That's going to be I've watched all the offshoots and all the new stuff. And
that's right. You didn't say Matrix.
So we said the reason I didn't say Matrix is because we just talked about the Matrix on the last on the podcast before the first podcast. Yeah. So I didn't want to go back into people are just oh hey we get it, you like the Matrix.
Well, that's the honorable mention.
Right. So there you go. But yeah, Star Wars is probably my favorite sci-fi franchise. I'm a big fan of vehicle tech weaponry, and there's a lot of vehicle tech and weaponry in Star Wars. It's Star Trek is a little more of the exploration and the
the
kind of like
science breakdown,
right, and like the almost like militarized aspect of how everything goes down,
and also the cult like.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they literally taught the God in Next Gen.
Yeah.
Well, their God.
Right. Exactly. And then Q, because Q's the best. John Delancey.
Yeah.
You're the man.
And also LeVar Burton.
LeVar Burton. Forever.
So.
Alright.
This is a little cop-out, but it tells of science fiction from EC.
Okay.
And that will also include the weird science, weird fantasy precursors before they merge together to try to keep the the comic run cheap.
Right. I like weird fantasy.
Then next, probably The Thing.
The Thing.
Because that's a good sci-fi horror.
It's good. It's just legendary at this point. Yeah.
And then my TV show, Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond. I do like some Terry McGinnis.
Well, if you want to say the other Batman animated series were sci-fi, I guess.
Right. The Batman the Animated Series introduced you to a good number of Batman villains, which is one of the things that I really, really appreciate.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze is sci-fi. Yeah. Poison Ivy is technically sci-fi.
Right, yeah, no, I'm there. I'm not disagreeing.
Like, all Batman's villains,
yeah, there's some sci-fi elements.
But when you get the cyberpunky, that's when I think it's like, okay, this is the sci-fi season.
I do like Batman Beyond. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I even liked it when it was Tim Drake in the comics.
Yeah, no, that was not so bad, and that was when it was like the city. Like, the city was like a character. Yeah, I liked that. Like the mass computer AI. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the city, the mass AI would talk to him through his headpiece and stuff. Like, I loved that. It was so cool.
Oh yeah, that also happened in the comics.
Yeah, exactly. In the comics.
Well, it was also in that one episode with the grandfather and grandson of a corporation, and one of them got turned into an AI.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out. I'm not sure I remember that.
But anyways, I think that is us done nerding out.
Right,
so
for sure.
Closing out, we're going to be releasing our first underground comic one-pager.
Right, we definitely are.
Right, it was called CBD, short for Comic Book Dealers. And it is our Clerks S Furry Fabulous Freak Brothers that we're working on.
Yep, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of good jokes, a lot of good musical references and that sort of thing. So, something to look forward to.
It was like an Adult Swim comic book.
For sure, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Well, anyways, thanks for watching, and keep nerding out.
Keep nerding out.